أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. I guess. Okay. Good. So, yeah, welcome. Sorry for the delay. So, this semester, inshallah, we will continue with our general theme of you in Quran. For the first maybe 2 or 3 sessions, even maybe more, it's going to be about questions. So, is it fine to ask questions in the first place? Is it appropriate to have questions in my mind when it comes to God, resurrection, or anything pertaining to religion? Even further, when it comes to something that happens and awkward questions that comes to my mind, how shall I go with them? Is there a proper way of asking questions, or is it asking questions is bad altogether, or is it perfectly fine? How do you deal with it? So where does the questions fit? So we will start with questions on faith in essentially the Creator, God. And we are going to go through Surah Al-An'am and verse numbers 74 to 83. So the first verse, the 74th verse, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ أَتَتَّخِذُ أَصْنَامًا آلِهَةً إِنِّي أَرَاكَ وَقَوْمَكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. And lo, thus spoke Abraham unto his father Azar, are you taking idols for gods? Verily, I see that you and your people have obviously gone astray. So just to give a update to our newcomer. So the way we are trying to read this prophet stories in Quran is, so in the previous semesters, we were going through looking at the existence, how we can conclude about who is making it, what is making this existence. So eventually we come to a point that I need to skip this part quickly. My Creator must speak to me, and apparently this is his speech. But when I take speech of God, what do I expect from speech of God? So, for example, what would you expect from speech of your boss in the workplace? So as much as you know her within the job description, because this is the sort of relationship between you and your boss, so there's a certain pattern that you expect from her, nothing more, nothing less. So when it comes to my maker, my creator, who is making me breathe the air right now, who is making me realize what I'm thinking right now, all these sort of things that pertain to existence, what would I expect from him to speak to me? So would it be like some speech 14 centuries ago, or would it be something very real, very intimate right now here in this room, for example? Because if it was my speech, and if I have written this speech down, let's say 100 years ago, when you take it, you will say, well, okay, this guy was such and such sort of a person, and his audience was such and such type of people. So it makes sense that I can understand why he said this sentence to those people. And you can derive something, but plus minus, saying that, okay, this part of it applied to them, but not to me. So this part is already outdated, so put it aside. So you can do such things. But when it comes to speech of God and the Creator being boundless with time or space, so we are expecting that my Creator is right now speaking this sentence to me. Because when I read this sentence, some meanings are going to be suggested to me. Would you like to accept this meaning as true or not? So this, I can take the verses as such. I can enter into a relationship with the verses as if my creator speaks to me right now. And the one that speaks is not just my creator, but also creator of my wife and my daughter and my work friend and my beloved friend from discussions and my chaplain, so on and so forth. So this sort of a speaker is talking, not only a limited being that talks to me. So now there are a lot of stories in Quran, and Quran itself says that these are not stories of the ancient. So how do I take these stories? So this one over here is story of Prophet Ibrahim with his parents, with his father. So, and the way we will try to read this verse, these set of verses is, what does it speak to me here in this country in 2020? Given my own circumstances, that today I got such and such news from someone, I am upset, I am happy, whatever. But within the conditions that I'm right now in, how can I read these verses? I am of this age, I graduated from that school. The speaker must be aware of such things. Therefore, I will enter into relationship with the text as such. So text is live in this sense. It's not a dead text. So, and this one from the 6th chapter of Quran. So, and Abraham speaks to his father, Azar. He says, "Are you taking idols for gods? Verily, I see that you and your people have obviously gone astray." So I would like to attract your attention to a few things in here, and let's make it like a conversation. Uh, this is where the story begins, and it directly starts with a conversation between the prophet Ibrahim and his father. And father's people or father's clan are being mentioned in this verse. What is the point of that? And what is its relevance to us? Why is he having this conversation with the father? And father not alone, father and father's clans ideology is being questioned over here. What is its relevance to us? What do you think?
To me, um, understand that I, from a society that has common beliefs, things that aren't questioned, um, things that you might not even realize that you believe. And so, what I think Ibrahim is doing, he's calling out some of these beliefs that his father subscribes to that maybe he didn't even realize that there was even another option, a different way of seeing something.
I guess this theme of uh, we believe like this is an important aspect over here. Because Ibrahim in here is a single person and he is trying to make sense of what is going on. But his father is saying that we take idols as if the belief system of his father is because of others. It's like a altogether, this is what we believe in. Are you personally also believing in that? We believe in this. So, because apparently there is no personal conviction over there, but there used to be like a system over generations in which this is our established system of belief. You take it or you take it, no other option. And in here, Ibrahim is saying that, are you taking idols, you and your people? It's like there's misguidance, Ibrahim is saying. There's something off in here. Don't you see that? And this calm aspect over here, like this, your clan, your group of people, is going to appear a lot in this story. In our case, how does this apply? So and we are going to keep questioning this more, but within the way that we live in our society, let it be with the educational system, the way we earn, the way we spend. There is a way that's out there. So you need to be successful in your job. You need to do whatever best you can do. Like these are the things that are norm. Not to say that you shouldn't be successful, but these are the things that are not being questioned anyways. So they are the norms of the society. We are the strongest nation. We are clever, and we have been as such for generations. Like my wherever I am coming from, my country, we are very proud of our history of however many thousand years we have been ruling this and that. So it's within our bloods. So these are the norms you never question. Or in a scientific society, you can do the same. So this is the norm. This is how people are accepting the reality of existence to be. So are you going to question that? We believe in as such. Who personally you are coming and telling me that are you taking idols as gods? And I say, well, this is what we have been doing. It's not my personal idea only. We are doing this. So have you entered into the lab and yourself concluded that it happens by itself? Like just you put the seed and it opens up by itself? No, it's not mine. This is what we concluded as the whole scientific enterprise. This is our belief system, I would say. So this sort of ideology, or if you like, hiding behind some belief system and saying that this is what we believe. So in this, or arguing against this, Ibrahim is a single person. He has his personal conviction. So this will be the main lesson that Ibrahim will give us. Are you convinced about your own conviction, whatever you say I believe in, or is it just you are repeating or hiding behind this group? And he is questioning also, are you taking idols for gods? Maybe we shall talk more about this, but what is this idols business? It sounds very outdated. Well, not maybe for where you're coming from, but what is this idols? Like in America, almost nobody believes, or even in, let's say, since you're coming from India, is it that people are frustrated to the idols, or do they say that, well, these idols are representing something? What is it like?
I don't think they believe that the idols represent God. They believe that that the gods live inside the idols. I mean, the idols are God Himself.
Okay, it's like the body. So
they during before prayers, what they do is they also arrange food in dishes and then they present it in front of the God. The idea over there is that this is the food which the God will be eating. And then at even larger ceremonies, what they do is they offer gold and silver and diamonds and place it on the idol's body. And again, the idea is that it's for the God. It's our dedication. It's a mark of dedication.
So, in our society, what sort of idol worshiping is out there?
So, I used to go to a Christian missionary school. We used to have a cross in front of the class, and I had a couple of friends. So our morning prayers always were very Christian-like. So we have words like other word. So I had a couple of friends who would object to the teacher that they couldn't say those words and wouldn't join their hands because there was an idol in front of them. And the words, I mean, saying the words is another issue, but joining your hands in front of an idol was also a problem for them because they said that we do them in the way. Yeah.
So now that we are reading this verse, let's say in Philadelphia 2020, so what would be an idol that this story is telling me to become aware of?
I'd say for this society, the common thing is yourself, gratify your nafs, be free, be yourself, do whatever you want to do.
So what would you call a god, though? Let's say taking idols for gods. So why? So when I say self-gratification, why would it be a god or why is it an idol?
Right? But the name, I mean, I call it the self, the
Mhm,
ego.
mhm,
Why is it a god?
mhm. I mean, what would we expect from a god or from God that we are taking ourselves as God? What would that mean?
Uh, One thing I see is that we'd expect God to command us to do things, or self, our egos command us to do things as well.
Might be. So someone who is, let's say people are praying to God so that it gives them rain, right? In any society, right? Either they give their like food to those gods, offering it to them, saying that give us rain, whatever. But in any sense, God is the notion of God is someone who is going to fulfill my needs, right? So in this society, for example, who is the fulfiller of my needs? When I'm in need, to whom do I go to? I might say that I am strong, as you were saying, self-gratification. I'm enough. I will do it. I will struggle, but I will get it. I'm relying on myself. Or I might be relying on, I don't know, some bank accounts, some loan, my government. There might be a lot of things from which I would expect this sort of satisfaction. So they will fulfill my needs. Or I might say that, uh, let's say, if there is a disease I might be inflicted with, and I say, well, the scientists are working on this. We are going to uh, tackle this soon. We will get over it. So, and Ibrahim is saying in here that in their time there were some idols, and of course it becomes very simplistic when we take that this just the statue is doing it, but the statue might be in my pocket right now, which is $100 bill, and I say that this opens all the doors. It's another sort of statue, but over paper. So something that I rely on. And then I guess Jesus was questioning his own people back in the day, like the saying that this is what really works for you, showing money. So I guess if I in this age say that uh, this is what is going to save me from all troubles, then actually this becomes my idol. And in this age, if I ask my father, like a hypothetical father, and my father is telling me, oh, son, you know what? You have to fill this in. If you don't fill this up, you will be a loser very soon. I say, is this what you believe in, father? He says, look at the society. This is this is what the whole society says. This is the thing that will make you live happily forever. But Ibrahim is saying that verily I see that you and your people have obviously gone astray. Interesting. So after this confrontation comes this next verse. This is sort of a key to the rest of the story. وَكَذَلْكَ نُرِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَلَكُوتَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلِيَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُوقِنِينَ. And thus we gave Abraham his first insight into the mighty dominion over the heavens and the earth, and this to the end that he might become one of those who are inwardly sure. So this confrontation was some starting point of what? Because Ibrahim in here was challenging the norm. So that there's something wrong. It cannot be all about this. But if you like, taking this step opens up some doors. Because if you go with the norms of the society, you become one of them, you just think like this, you become the slave of the same item. But if you say that there's something wrong with this, now different options are opening up in front of you. And this is practically the case for us. And the Creator says, we opened up something in front of Ibrahim. What is it that's opened in front of him? Malakut as-samawati wal ard. What does this mean? So the translation in here is mighty dominion over the heavens and the earth. So what does it sound like to you?
Sounds like control, power.
Control, power. Right? And this is over heavens and the earth. Previously, like from father's perspective in this story, or in our example, from society's point of view, it's all about money. Whatever happens in the society, it's all about money. Whoever controls the money controls the society. And it's just a dominion over, if you like, in the horizontal level. We are talking about the control of people. This is our norm. If you control people, you are God. This one is saying that, look at the dominion of heavens and the earth. The whole existence is within an order. Who is ruling this existence? It's not only a matter of who is stronger within the society. Look at the spring, summer, winter seasons are coming and passing. Look at the earth, look at the solar system, look at all the galaxies and everything. And then go back and look at your body, to the particles, minute particles that you drink, water, soup, eat food and fruit. They all go to their proper places. Like it's a body that's functioning, all the particles, and there is no nothing. I'm perfectly happy, perfectly comfortable in here. So there is a governing taking place over here. Who is doing that? Ibrahim's father is not concerned about this. He is only concerned about how not the only dominion, it's just a minute part of it. Look at the whole existence. There must be someone who is taking care of by this. How about the globes? How about my cells? How about the galaxies and everything? It's working like a clock, but every moment it's working. It's not like, oh, somebody set it up. No, it's an ongoing action is taking place. So, Malakut as-samawati wal ard, his dominion in the heavens and the earth became apparent to him. And this was the beginning point of what? وَلِيَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُوقِنِينَ. So that he eventually achieves this certainty. His father was not certain. His father was certain because his clan was thinking that this is what it is. And he didn't want to think about it. He didn't want to question it. So, and I guess in here, going back to the previous verse, Quran talks a lot about he speaks the same thing from the mouth of several people, but it's always the ones that come against the messenger is, we found our forefathers doing this. Are you suggesting us to go against them? All my father, grandfather, and his grandfather were very hard workers, and their number one rule was, get this. And that's it. The rest is going to be fine. And you are telling me to look at it in a different way. So this is what Ibrahim started with. So this certainty, muqinin, is the goal, so that he's going to get this certainty. Now the journey starts. So Ibrahim is now having his journey. فلما جن عليه الليل رأى كوكبا قال هذا ربي فلما أفل قال لا أحب الآفلين. So then, when the night overshadowed him with its darkness, he beheld a star. He saw a star, and he exclaimed, "This is my sustainer. This is my Lord." This is the one that takes care of me. Because a moment ago we were talking about the particles in my body, right? The cells in my body. Who is taking care of them? So this was the initial point. He is realizing that he is being taken care of. But who is taking care of him? So okay, he sees a star, says, can this star be my Lord? But when it went down, when it set, he said, I love not those that set. So let's talk about this part quickly. What is this star? What is it that, if it's not, let's say, this wallet that is governing my life, what is the star we tend to, in our journey, what would be, because this is the journey of Ibrahim, and for me it's now looking like a metaphor. So how does it apply to me? So what is it in my darkness of night? What sort of light do I take as, okay, this might be the one that's taking care of me? Any idea?
Substances.
Substance?
Alcohol.
Alcohol?
Yeah, when you're feeling down and depressed and in your inner darkness, maybe take a trip to the bar and drown your sorrows away.
And in the morning?
And get a headache.
Yeah. So it sets eventually.
It does.
Yeah. So any sort of things. It might be alcohol, or let's say you are coming from a family which says alcohol is bad, but you might be seeking for the light in your darkness by playing PlayStation. I don't know. Anything that is temporarily going to silence the trouble, but once you end the game, the joy sets. As the star is setting, the joy sets. And you say, I don't like that because my troubles are with me. Still, my body needs to be governed and properly like, established. Yet, PlayStation is over. It might be work, I don't know. But something that temporarily, within the darkness of my night, is illuminating me, giving me some hope. Maybe this can be my Lord. This can fulfill my needs, whatever your needs are. But this sentence is important. I love not those that set. Because human wants to establish this sort of relationship. I want to be loved, and I love, but nothing satisfies me in this life because everything is dying away. Would you like to love something that is going to disappear? Let's say they're going to bring here the most beautiful car, but they will give it to you for 5 minutes. It's going to be yours for 5 minutes. You will get used to it. You will get attached to it. And once they are convinced that you are truly attached to it, they will take it away from you. What would you do with that? You better not give it to me, man. Are you joking? But this is how life is. Things are, you say that, okay, this is the hope. It's going to enlighten me. It's going to save me from my troubles. But it's being taken away from me. It sets. So it's just sorrow, more of sorrow. So there's then the second step. He says, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ. This time he is looking at moon. He first started with a star. He sees the moon. قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي فَلَمَّا أَفَلَ. And again, he says, this is my Lord. And then the moon sets again. قال لئن لم يهديني ربي لأكونن من القوم الضالين. This part is important. When the moon sets, his reaction is different this time. Indeed, if my sustainer guide me not, I will most certainly become one of the people who go astray. What do you see in here? Would you ever say such a thing? Because this is your second trial, and you're with trial and error, you're trying to find where your Lord is. Can this be my Lord? Can that be my Lord? And you keep failing. How would you feel?
Like you're intentionally allowed to be lost.
You're abandoned, right? Because you feel like when you start the journey, once you see that there is some sort of a dominion, you say, okay, this there must be a governor of this existence, and I'm trying to find him. Then by myself, I tried some options. Can it be this one? No. Can it be that one? It didn't work. And at this point, uh, Ibrahim is saying that definitely the one that I am searching for should guide me. Because exhausting all possible options apparently is going to take infinite time for me. My life is not that long. Yeah, I can, it is within my reach to say that this is not my creator, this is not my creator. But there is my creator. So am I going to keep searching like this forever? So he says, if he doesn't, if my Lord doesn't guide me, definitely I am lost. I'm going to be lost. So he gets this notion of, I am in need of guidance. Although I know what I am looking for, but I'm not able to find him. So I am in need of guidance. And I'm going to become one of them. Those people. I will just get exhausted at some point and say that, oh, whatever. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I tried. Okay. So this is the third stage. Now he says, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي هَذَا أَكْبَرُ. Now when he sees the sun is rising, he says, okay, this one is big. This must be. This is larger. This is the greatest. This must be my Lord. But again, the sun sets. قال يا قوم إني بريء مما تشركون. He says, O my people, behold, far be it from me to ascribe divinity as you do to anything other than God. So I guess this bigness, greatness is again what I'm looking for in the one who is going to take care of the whole existence. But anything that which sets, anything that goes away, cannot be my provider. Why? Why do you think the ones that set, that go away, cannot be my provider?
It's not a second that goes by that we're not being provided for. So if something disappears, it's like saying it's not permanent. I think that negates its quality or qualification to be a provider.
So I'm being provided 24/7. The one that provides me must be providing everything because of the way the existence are very intricately coming into being. So the things that I see out there, which might be a single medical pill, this is going to save my life. It might be my credentials that I say, okay, I'm relying on my credentials. This is what's going to save my life. None of them are having this complete control over the whole existence. Because the existence is as such that it's so much interconnected. Whoever is controlling one must be the one that controls everything, and vice versa. So if it's just a partial control, he cannot be my Lord. Then comes his conclusion. This part is إني وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض حنيفا وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. So he says, no, he negated star, moon, sun. But you can extrapolate it using the same logic. You can say that apparently none of the things that set, that disappear, that have a limitation, that is sometimes there, sometimes is not there. These things do not fulfill the quality of becoming my Lord. Because I am constantly in need of a Lord, but none of them are always there. They are all disappear. They are all in need of someone who is controlling them also. Then who is my Lord? After this negation phase, so far Ibrahim was doing nothing but negating. He said that this cannot be God, this cannot be God, this cannot be God. This is what he has done so far. Now he says, then I am turning my face towards someone who is not any of those, but he is the one who is taking care of all of those. This is a description of God actually. So in here, Ibrahim alayhi salam is showing us the formula of La ilaha illa Allah. It says La ilaha is just the negation part. It says this is not God, this is not God, moon is not God, sun is not God, my wallet cannot be my Lord, my credentials, my CV is not my provider, none of them. It cannot be my provider. It's not my parents, it's not my nation, my country, my family, my legacy, none of them. Because they are in need of being provided. How come they are going to provide me? If none of them, then what does this mean? Actually, I am denying everything in this existence to be my Lord. Nothing can be my Lord in here. But still, I know that I am being governed. What does this mean? There must exist someone, a one, who is the governor, the Lord of everything, but he is none of them. وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, the later part is, and I do not ascribe any partners to him. What would it mean to ascribe partners to him? Because denying God is something, but ascribing partners is seemingly another thing, practically speaking.
Just believe in more than one entity which comes.
So practical, what would this mean? So for example, today, if do I believe in one God, or looking from outside, if you can judge, of course you shouldn't be judging, but let's say I gave you the permission to judge me. What would make you conclude that Yusuf is actually ascribing partners to Creator?
But again, I think you can use the same example. Person can believe in God, but he may believe in a doctor if he is in need of immediate medical attention. He may believe in money if he's in he may believe in his boss. You can believe in God.
Yeah. So it will lead to some contradiction, but I guess practically this is what we are doing, right? We are saying that I believe in a creator, but still I am feeling like, yes, my advisor can help me in such and such. So, but at the end of this journey, Ibrahim is saying that this cannot be, this cannot be, this cannot be God. And my Lord is the one who is governing all of them, and he is none of them. Then comes an interesting conversation. After he concludes this, وَحَاجَّهُ قَوْمُهُ, and his people argued with him. He comes up with this solid argument, and his people argue with him. On which ground, though? So then Ibrahim says, قال تحاجوني في الله وقد هدان. So he said, do you argue with me about God when it is He who has guided me? What sort of an argument is that?
He's claiming to know who God is as something they don't know. He's asserting that he is guided and that they are not guided.
Okay, he knows what he is talking about because he says, I am given this, I know this. It's not that I am just making up something or I am just imagining something. I found guidance meaning that I tell you, let's say, if you go and dig at the corner of 38 and Walnut, you are going to find a treasure. You say, okay, let me see. You went there, you dig the ground actually, and you found a treasure over there. And you come back and I argue against you. And then you say, although I am guided and I already found the gold in there, so I am sure about it, you are arguing against me about this? So it's not something that, because the journey that Ibrahim took was, he is saying that, can this be creator? It says, no, it cannot. So he is sure about what he's talking. It's not that he is assuming about it. I mean, the sense of belief in here, this is why at the very beginning, he talked about certainty. Belief in here doesn't mean just hypothetically thinking that this is how it should be like. It's not that, well, yeah, your father and your people believe in like this, but we believe in like that. It's not just an alternative word. He is certain about something. So he already found something. He is given something. So going through this journey, you and I, as much as I arrive to certainty, saying that money cannot be my Lord, my credentials cannot be my Lord, the medical pill cannot be my Lord, meaning that it cannot cure me. If I'm convinced about this with a reasoning, I'm sure about this, somebody comes and says, no, 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 this one is going to cure you. I would say, given the thought process I went through, given my observations and my convictions, are you telling me that this is going to cure me? Come on. This is what he is doing, actually. So this one is showing, he said, do you argue with me about God when it is he who has guided me? Then an interesting conversation about fear and security comes in. And it's going to be there for a few verses. Well, I do not fear anything to which you ascribe divinity side by side with him, unless my sustainer so wills. All things does my sustainer embrace within his knowledge. Will you not then keep this in mind? So I will continue with the next verses as well, but there's this mentioning of fear. So if after, why is Ibrahim making an argument about fear and security? Because so far it was only a matter of conversation based on who is my Lord. But now the topic of fear comes up. What's the point, right? And he says, I do not fear anything to which you ascribe divinity side by side with me. So let's say, apparently he says you are ascribing partners to God. You're not denying God, but you ascribe partners to God. Like you take idols as partners, and you are fearful of those idols. He says, I'm not fearful of them. I'm not fearful of sickness. I'm not fearful of cure. I'm not fearful of money, anything of this sort, he says. Apparently, this is what his belief, his certainty gives to him. Then in the next verse, and why should I fear anything that you worship side by side with him? Seeing that you are not afraid of ascribing divinity to other powers beside God without his ever having bestowed upon you from on high any warrant therefore. You are not afraid of ascribing partners to God. And shall I be afraid of shall I be afraid of your gods? What is the message in here? Can you see what's going on?
From what I understand, he's saying if anyone should be scared, it should be them. It should be his people, because they're the ones attributing partners to God, right? Who is, supreme above, even these other false gods. It shouldn't be the other way around. You shouldn't be worried about attributing the supreme God amongst these other false gods, right? As well.
So, are they afraid of their gods? Definitely, they are, right? Their own gods. Yeah, they're afraid of their gods. So, like they're afraid of losing this or losing the favor of this.
Right.
So, if you lose the favor, quote unquote, you become unlucky. Money is not in your pocket anymore. So, it's something to be pissed off, right? In that mindset. So he says, seeing that you are not afraid of ascribing divinity to other powers. As if he says, you should be afraid of doing that. Why should they? Actually, he is already showing them that you are in fear because you are ascribing partners to the Creator. You are fearful of losing money now. You are fearful of disease killing you now. Just because of ascribing partners, you are fearful. But on the other hand, you are challenging me, saying that if you don't take this, without money, how are you going to survive? As if I should be afraid. He says, no, you are afraid. This is why you are suggesting me to be afraid. But since I am convinced and concluded that the whole existence is being governed by one, I just ask from him. I'm not asking from every individual gods that you're asking from. And if you look at our practical lives, aren't we asking from infinitely many gods? Because I am like asking from infinitely many gods, read it this way. The things that I am worried about, the things that I need to take care of, the things that I need to secure so that I am not going to be worried about. As if I control this, I'm going to be good for 2 years. Otherwise, I'm going to be worried about it. Because I feel like some threat can come from here. I am under the mercy of my boss. I am under the mercy of some president, someone who can declare war to anywhere at any point of time, just to give an example. So all these are like potential enemies to me. As much as I am fearful of them, flip side, just flip the coin and see that actually I am fearful of them because I am giving them some power, saying that they have power over me. They are becoming partners. Ibrahim is saying that it's you who should be fearful. And actually, he's saying that you are truly fearful just because you are ascribing partners to him. And this perfectly explains the last sentence of the verse. Tell me, which of the two parties has a better right to feel secure, if you happen to know the answer? The claim of the father and the clan is, if you get this, you will feel secure. Ibrahim says, if you take it as idol, you will never feel secure. Only a very small portion of the society maybe is going to have this, if they will feel security for a certain time, because this never stays at a certain people's hand. But the rest is going to be horrible. And even the ones who have this is not going to have the health, is not going to have something else. So all of you, as much as you take things other than the governor of existence as your Lord, you will never find security. So this sentence is Very beautiful in the sense that it ties belief, iman, to aman, security. It says iman, the belief, is the thing that gives you security. This is why belief needs to be rooted in certainty. The description of Ibrahim for belief roots in certainty. It's not like a hope, it's not like just a wish. He is sure about it, and he says this sureness, this certainty gives me the peace, gives me the security in life. And as much as I ascribe partners to him, I'm going to be insecure. And the litmus test for this is check if you feel secure. As much as I am feeling insecure, go and make adjustments in yourself. What did I ascribe as partner to the Lord of the heavens and the earth that I am becoming fearful of this? Because I am fearful of losing it. I'm not secure about this thing having pity on me. So then comes the description for the relationship between security and belief. الذين آمنوا, those who have attained faith. وَلَمْ يَلْبَسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ, and who have not obscured their faith by wrongdoing it. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ, is they who shall be secure. وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ, since it is they who have found the right path. So a question over here, what does it mean وَلَمْ يَلْبَسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ, and who have not obscured their faith by wrongdoing it? What would it mean? Like after attaining faith, after finding security and being sure about who is my Lord, how do I wrong it?
Maybe they fall back into the actions when they before they attain the belief, right? If they go back to relying on money, they feel a slight, like, oh, I do need to get some amount of money.
Yeah. So my government, the one that takes care of me, is the creator of heavens and earth. But without money, it doesn't happen, man. You still need money, or you still need medicine. But when I say you still need medicine, I truly mean without medicine, it doesn't work. It is medicine that cures. So, I mean, the opposite side of it, is it like without medicine you can be cured? This is not what it means. But in my perception, I put this medicine to my mouth and I am cured. So what shall I celebrate? Shall I say that, oh, this medicine cured me? Or shall I say that putting this medicine to my mouth was actually asking from the one who created me, who creates the whole existence, saying that, okay, cure me. And this is like, I'm asking, physically asking from me. Sometimes I can ask vocally from my wife, can you bring this toy to me? And sometimes I can say, then she gives the toy to me. There are different ways of having conversation. So when I put this medicine, because the medicine itself, if it already had the qualities to cure me, I would never conclude about God anyways, right? But following the steps so far, we said that this cannot be God, this cannot be God, this cannot be God. Yet at the end, if I say that, well, but without this, still it doesn't work, I'm contradicting myself. I am wronging my conclusion. My conclusion was nothing has the power, and now I am making it dirty again, saying that, well, yet it is needed. So this is how I wrong it, and which puts me back to this insecurity.
I'm just, when I'm looking at it in the Arabic, the two things that kind of come to me that I don't get the translation is, the Yalbisu is basically the clothes, like the thing for clothing, right? So this idea of kind of actually covering. And Golem, I always think is interesting because we translate it as wrongdoing, but it also has to do with darkness, right? And there's the dua of minutes, right? Yeah, I think all the meat, right? And when you think of him being the Golem, it leaves my reflection on it. Right? It's not that he was a prophet, so he wasn't doing wrong, right? But he gave up on his people, right? And so in this, he was pessimistic in a sense. He was not seeing that potentiality, and that in itself is a darkness thing, right? Not being able to see that kind of potentiality. So it's like people have faith, but then you're not like clothing and covering up your faith with doubt, right? Itself with an uncertainty, right? And being like, okay, I'm now limiting myself to only my perception, limiting myself to only what I can see, and then realizing.
Yes, very true. So, just to summarize, this verse is, to me, defining the relationship between belief and security. Just in a single verse, it summarizes this. And reminds me of saying that if my belief doesn't give me security, then I am doing a mistake at some point. Either I am just covering it up or dirtying it with some darkness, ascribing partners. So go and check if you are falling into self-contradiction. And this is the concluding verse. وتلك حجتنا آتيناها إبراهيم على قومه نرفع درجات من نشاء إن ربك حكيم عليم. And this was our argument which we gave unto Abraham against his people. So the methodology, this is the Abrahamic methodology of journeying towards finding the Creator. So saying, and actually it became the formula of Tawheed in La ilaha illallah. So this is Abrahamic formula, which is negate all the ones that cannot be the Creator. And still you are very sure that there must be a governor though, because things are being governed, things are being taken care of. So there must exist a Creator of all of these, but he is none of them. He is not like any of them. He cannot have let's say, color, size, weight, time, space, anything, because none of these were having godly qualities anyways. So when I talk about the Creator, he is not definable in terms of any of the metrics, any of the things that I use to describe things in here. So this is in a sense describing who Lord is. Then we do raise by degrees whom we will. There's this mentioning of degrees. It looks like this is not a binary thing. Either you believe or you don't believe. But once you go through this journey, and let's say you concluded that my Creator is as such, he must be the governor of the whole existence. Did the journey end for me? Or, as much as my perception of this existence expands, let's say I start, previously I had no knowledge of art, let's say. I was just an engineer. But then I started learning about art, and different things starts coming into my world now, oh, things are, previously they were very good machinery. When I look at a tree, when I look at a baby, but now I am seeing that there's also very minute artwork being done in there, very details. So now my description, my understanding of creator expands because I say, oh, he must also be the one who does this. So far, I was not aware of art in existence. Now I start seeing art. So, yes. So the one that takes care of me must also be an artist. So what I mean by he must be artist is he must be the one who is doing this art, because this art cannot happen by itself. It cannot happen because any of these, anything in this existence, sun, moon, stars, wallet, credentials, none of them can put this into being. So it's expanding. So there are degrees, and this is something that I experienced. This journey never ends. The journey of belief never ends. It needs to be renewed, and as long as life exists, this is the purpose of life. To update myself, to, if you like, try to be raised in the degrees. Verily, your sustainer is wise, all knowing. Quran ties verses like this, summarizes, as if summarizes the whole thing with those names of the Creator. What do you see here? Why does he say in Rabbika Hakimun Alim at the end? After talking about those degrees, he says, indeed, your Lord is all wise, all knowing. Where did he come up with these two specific names? Can it be that I would like to, since he is saying that there are degrees, and apparently I understand what degrees are, then a question comes to my mind. So, if there are degrees, which there is, how can I expand? How can I understand more? I would like to establish a stronger relationship with my Lord. I would like to get to know Him more. How do I do that? As if in here he is saying, indeed, He is all wise and all knowing. So look for the wisdom, look for the knowledge that is being manifest in the existence. Look at this baby and her relationship with her mother and see what's going on in there in terms of, is it just some arbitrary relationship or is it within an order? Look at the relationship, how it is being done, how she is holding, love that you will observe. Everything, you will see that there is a wise way of putting things within existence. So try to see the wisdom. So it's like it's going to open up over time. Because why do we study in university? We are trying to read page by page, actually, wisdom. Whose wisdom that we are studying? Whose knowledge that we are trying to understand? Where does this, are these knowledge and wisdom just arbitrarily out there? So is it like I was holding a bunch of letters, I throw it down, and then it becomes knowledge and you study it? Would you ever try to understand what it writes if I randomly throw it? Or you know that I knowingly have written a good poem or like some theorem, you will investigate, try to understand, make your own proof out of it. So how do I approach this existence? So it is being written in a very wise way. The universe is a book that is being written very wisely and it manifests knowledge. So read them and then you will like be raised to levels. As much as I get to know manifestations of wisdom and knowledge, I will be raised. What I'm understanding from these two names being mentioned in here. So for this week, 1 hour, 3 minutes. You were just saying that she said you cannot finish it in an hour. She was expecting 1.5 hours. So this week it was about one aspect of Ibrahim alayhi salam questioning. So, and one lesson that I take from here is asking such questions are not evil at all, but actually it's necessary to ask such questions in whatever society you are. Even I might be within a Muslim society, and my father might be saying that we believe in God because this is how we have seen so far. But still, I mean, not to go fist fight, whatever, but the idea is it our religion or is it my religion? Is it my own conviction? Or do I just follow it because our people are doing as such? Because it should be, it might become just a hypothetical setup that as we say that money is going to save me, I might be putting a similar value when I say our religion is going to save me. Is it? Might be true, but I need to go through the journey and know it and conclude it for myself so that it becomes my security. Otherwise, anything in this sense, I mean, uh, you're not born in India. He was born in India. It might have been that he was born into a Hindu family. I mean, somehow he ended up being in a Muslim family. But what if it was the other way around, right? So, is a Hindu boy less lucky than you are, or you are more lucky than him, or like these are all troublesome questions, if you like. So, is somebody just made a favor to you, saying that okay, this guy is good, he should be Muslim, he's on the saved side, the other guys, is it like this, or still every individual's responsibility to go through this journey in order to find security? This is why I guess asking the question the other way around. Do I feel secure? If I don't feel secure, I need to go back to, if you like, to the drawing board, seek where I did make a mistake, why it's not working out. So inshallah, next week there are two more cases of Ibrahim alayhi salam's questionings, so we will go through them. Then after them, we are going to go through the Musa and Khidr story. So there is also questioning in the Surah Al-Kahf. It's another form of questioning in there, more like problem of evil. Some things are happening and you say, well, this doesn't make sense. Why did I crash my car? So shall I ask such a question or not? Right. Okay. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة